insist to have at least one white wine tonight because it's small, tiny production and more demand of Châteauneuf-du-Pape you having in everywhere in the world. Why? Because Châteauneuf-du-Pape, for me, for people who don't want to spend a fortune, all right, is a perfect combination of not waiting for 15 years for a Bordeaux, okay, or the complication of understanding Burgundy. So Châteauneuf-du-Pape is just between these two and please a lot of people, and we're going to see that tonight. So tonight, what is very, 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 very important, the focus. I was waiting for you, and you bring Madame. Come here, let's go. Here, your seat here. So tonight, the big focus is not, as I always said, the soil underground. We're always talking about that. Today, I'm not going to talk too much about that. It's mostly the soil on the top that is important. Okay? So let's go start from the beginning. What is Châteauneuf-du-Pape? Nice to see you. Best cook in the world. Best cook in the world. In a world, you are in the universe. Here you are. So Châteauneuf-du-Pape, what it is? Biggest appellation of all Rhône Valley. Rhône Valley is south and you have north. Of the two, Châteauneuf-du-Pape is the biggest. 8,000 acres of vine. Okay? History of Châteauneuf-du-Pape. Châteauneuf-du-Pape, the new house of the Pope. Why link with the Pope? But for over almost 100 years, 8 popes used to live in Avignon and Rome between 1309 to 1378. 8 popes used to live in Avignon. Is the reason why you do have so many vineyards in Châteauneuf-du-Pape. Okay? Châteauneuf-du-Pape, I said 8,000 acres, coming from 5 small, tiny villages. Full production, 14 million bottles a year. 14 million bottles a year. So here you do have quantity and very rarely quality, both. Okay, that they do have both. They do have both. Okay, 320 different winery is not too much because it's coming from only 5 villages. But the beauty outside of the history with the Pope is what is Châteauneuf-du-Pape. So Châteauneuf-du-Pape for me is super traditional. Some of the chateaux, not what we're having tonight, but some of the chateaux use 13 different grapes to make Châteauneuf-du-Pape. Back then, they were all using 13 grapes. Moving forward, now they use 3, 4, 5 at the most. We do have only one Châteauneuf-du-Pape here at the store who use the 13 grapes. Okay, I didn't want to show it tonight because I wanted to step up on the quality tonight. Okay.
Less grapes is more quality?
No. I said tonight the selection I bring up, the 13 grapes is superb, but is an entry level. Very, very nice, but is an entry level. I wanted to step up tonight on the quality. Okay. So what is important about Châteauneuf-du-Pape is a microclimate. In all France, there is not one region who has a microclimate. Only one is Châteauneuf-du-Pape. What is a microclimate? Number one, Châteauneuf-du-Pape is the sunniest village appellation in all France. Over 3,000 hours of sun is a lot for us. Compare to Napa Valley, 5,000, so almost double in Napa. Okay? Here, 3,000. So what's happening? The sun shoots the heat on the vineyard, but all Châteauneuf-du-Pape is a huge white rocks called galets. All stone everywhere in a vineyard. Each vineyard has these big rocks. It's a nightmare to have horses or even walk on the vineyard. It's a nightmare. All these white stone absorb the heat of the sun. Because it's a stone, it keeps the soil extremely fresh during the day. At night, when the temperature drops, the stone naturally gives back to the soil all the heat as a nutrition. That is a microclimate. Now, because it's so unbelievably done, it's very, very hot. But coming from the north part of the Rhône Valley, you do have a very cold wind called Mistral. So the cold wind comes from the north, and you do have the sun heat, so it's going the freshness and the heat at the same time. Perfection for the vine to get on the stress is exactly what we are looking for. The selection of the wine tonight, there is nothing on a young vine. Minimum here is a 50 years old vine. Again, old vine, deep root, who get unusual, very rare type of mineral to absorb as a nutrition. Okay? Going to slowing down, I want you to focus now on your first wine. This wine has been created in 1955. Of course, we're doing the white wine. Please look at this intense goldy color, and after, go slowly with the smell. Don't test it yet. Smell it, and smell it again. I love the color. When you do have a color like that, already in your mind, you almost know what you are getting. There is nothing light here. No, here is going to be intensity. It's going to be rich. Oh. Who said pear? Somebody say pear. Here you are. Perfecto. Et là. Apricot. Absolutely. Flowers. White flowers. Yes. Is a bouquet. When we say bouquet, is an extension of 10, 15 different aroma. Is exactly what's happening here. And I opened the wine 30 minutes ago. If I leave the glass for 2 hours, non-stop, the aroma going to change. Again and again, that is why Châteauneuf-du-Pape is very well known. Nose and wait, the taste as good as a nose. Alors, we're going from apricot, pear, flowers. What else do we have here? Peaches, absolutely. Anise, number 1, absolutely. Good. Is there? What else? You see, it's changing. 50 years old vine. What?
Honey.
Anise?
Honey.
Honey, yes, of course, honey. Yes, is there. Do you want to know something here? Do you think it's made with oak? Of course, correct? 0 oak. 0. What you are smelling here coming from straight the soil. That is what I want to show you tonight. Tonight, all the wine is a minimum of oak. Some of them no oak. That is absolutely phenomenal.
How many grapes in this?
Alors, this one you do have Bourboulenc, Marsanne, Roussanne, Grenache Blanc. 4 different grapes. Okay? 4 different grapes, from 4 different areas. Here. 4 different areas, 4 different grapes. Okay? Different age. The average is about 50 years old. No oak, zero oak. That is what I love about Châteauneuf-du-Pape, is the authenticity coming from the traditional way of making the wine. That is just... Who said you cannot have white wine with the meat? That, with a turkey, kill it.
So is it aged in stainless steel?
Stainless steel, only. Why? They do not want to change anything of what the soil and vine going to give it to you or produce. Not necessity here to have oak. Like it? Alors on retro-olfaction, what is retro-olfaction? Okay, you hear I do, so I keep the oxygen coming in and I breathe with my nose, so going in and out. But I keep the wine in my mouth. It's kind of a decantation, my own decantation, Olivier decantation, all your decantation. That is a retro-olfaction. When you do that and you swallow, do not breathe anymore with the nose, letting go. 6-7 seconds minimum is stay. And longer we're going to wait, longer it's going to stay in a palate. What does it mean? Longer the aroma stay in your palate, higher quality you're going to have. Meaning what? High alcohol, correct. High acidity, correct. High minerality, correct. The 3 elements that you need on this specific wine, everything is very, very high. But still extremely pleasant to drink. With food or without food. 5%. Okay, we're talking about 20 acres of vine for this wine. 20 acres. We must receive maybe 5 cases of this specific wine. So can you imagine we are completely in a south part. You see Galets Rollet? All right, that is what, look this stone. That is exactly everywhere. Everywhere. That is the beauty and the magical touch of Châteauneuf-du-Pape is the terroir. Right? But most of the time the terroir is underground, different type of soil. Here, yes, there is different type of soil, but most important thing in Châteauneuf is above ground. You remember, sometimes it is as important to smell your empty glass to get even more aroma. And I'm not pushing you to drink it because I can see there is a lot of empty glasses, but it's for you to experiment another one. Alors, when it's empty, move your nose left, right, up and down. It's changing a lot again. It's non-stop changing. Slowly, we are moving and are preparing ourselves for the next wine. And the next wine today, we're going to do not the same way that normally we will do. We will start with the younger vintage and move forward to the older vintage. Today I don't want to do that. No. Today I want to focus on the wine. And why? 2 of them, Charvin and Chavy, both of them are extremely close. There is one big difference that I want to talk about it at the same time. Before that, before I explain what it is here, same exercise, looking at the color, smelling 1 or 2 times. When you smell 1 or 2 times, you start to check for a third time and focus. You do that 2 or 3 times. And after, slowly, you start to test. And I'm going to do that at the same time. Alors, here is extremely small and tiny plot. Only for this wine, only 6 acres of vine. 6 acres of vine. Extremely, extremely small. Okay? Alors, 6 acres is one spot, is called Pradelle. The name of this area, 6 acres, is called Pradelle. Very well known in all Châteauneuf-du-Pape. Okay? 50 years old vine again. Grenache, Mourvèdre, Syrah. Grenache, like in Spain, Grenacha. Mourvèdre, local grapes. Okay? And Syrah, we know all Syrah, north, south, Spain, everywhere. 3 grapes, right? But 50 years old vine, okay, the way of making it, that is very unusual, and is the reason why I wanted you to test it. When they do the vinification, when the juice is pressed, the wine gets to the winery, they used very big vat, huge vat, okay, about 3,600 liters, massive, about 951 gallons. Okay, you cannot change that every single year. It's massive. It stays for 20, 25, 30 years. Every single year, the wood going to absorb the wine. So less and less and less, the wood has an effect on the wine. That is number one. When they finish that, they transfer the wine in amphora, big clay vessel. You know the amphora, that normally you do that underground. They keep it, the wine, for 6 months into it. Why? To preserve all aroma. Zero filtration here. No filtration. Whatever comes from the vineyard, go to the winery, no filtration. You test what the vineyard give it to you. The reason why I choose this one tonight, okay, and it's the first one. The first wine that you test during a tasting is always the first one who's going to make you like, oh, your reaction was like that. Oh, because we're coming from a white wine with very elegant, soft aroma. We're getting now to something more body-oriented, more acidity. So we are not ready. The reason why I choose this one because it's a 2021. It's a good vintage, okay, but it's not an exceptional vintage. It's a very good vintage. So even so, in a very good vintage, I wanted to show you what the wine could be. Alors, what do we have on the nose? Is it a lot of aroma coming to your nose? Here we are. A lot of earthiness. A lot. Spiciness, earthiness, meaty. What else? Currant, exactly. Yes. Berries, yes. At the beginning. Correct. But even in the spiciness is an elegant spiciness. If it's the mushrooms is not too much, but just enough to get it. Everything here is precise, is very, very balanced. The nose is absolutely unbelievable. Let's go to test it.
Good choice.
Bang! Bing! You remember when I tell you when you get to the excellence in wine is one line? One line. Only one. 4 elements here. And the 4 elements are extremely high, but you feel nothing. It's one sound, the same. Not one up and one down. Acidity, freshness that you do have at the beginning is there, super high. Minerality from the soil, it explodes in your mouth, but balance with the acidity. The tannin, a lot of tannin for 2021 is there, but very velvet, not even dry. Touch, maybe I will say, of maybe a touch of sweetness at the end. And the alcohol content, trust me, is there. You can see by the legs, number one, absolutely. Is there, is very rich. Don't be fooled. You take 3 glasses of this wine, you may dance on the table right away. But you don't feel it. Is what I wanted to show you. Even so, but that is dangerous wine, but we like danger, especially on this type. 13.5. It's pretty.
I expected 15 or 16.
If he was 15, he will not be as balanced as that. To be balanced, to be, I will say, close to the perfection, you cannot be too much alcohol. 14, 14.5, okay.
And then you're going into 4 to 5 territory.
Exactly.
It's so nice.
He's so beautiful and he keep going and he keep going and he keep going. You see, zero oak. Not only not oak, but amphora, large clay vessel, massive, 800 liters. Can you imagine 800 liters from here to the top of the window and large like that? All amphora, clay. Take a hammer, you break, everything break. But they keep it like it used to be traditionally. And that I love it. I love it. How much is it? I don't even know the price. How much? 55. All right. By 55, there is many wines that I will not buy at 55, but I will buy this one.
Yes, you're right.
Alors Grenache is the #1 grape used in all Châteauneuf-du-Pape. Okay. Alors let's go to talk a little bit about microclimate. Is 3,000 hours of sun, but every year, unfortunately, I will say, it increase. So, what is the effect of the sun on a plant when every single year it increase? Some of the grape absorb the heat and they are perfectly fine, and few of them, even on the 13, cannot deal with that anymore. So what's happening? They are removing some of them and putting some other grape who can handle more the heat. And there, at this time, is where myself getting sad, because we are losing the traditional way of making with several different vines. But slowly and slowly they are removing some of the grapes that I love the most in Châteauneuf-du-Pape to replace with other grape who's going to give a different style of wine. Talking about style of wine, now we are moving to the 2 other ones that I want you to test side by side. Okay, I don't do that normally, but I want to do that here. Why? Because Charvin and Massy, both of them, same size, 20 and 25 acres. Both of them, okay, Charvin and Chaussy here, both of them on the north part of Châteauneuf-du-Pape. Both of them, Grenache, Syrah, Mourvèdre. Not necessarily the same percentage, but they use the 3. So when you are in the north part, you have a tendency to have kind of the same type of soil. Now I'm talking about underground. right? Same age of the vine, between 50 and one is 40 and one is 50. So pretty mature wine. So I want you to, both of the wine, you look at the color at the same times. And I'm going to do exactly the same. And you're going to see a difference, correct? No oak, concrete, both. No oak, guys. No oak for both of them. Concrete. Basically, no oak tonight.
Oliver, does the concrete and the clay breathe a little bit?
Alors, good, very good question. Okay, clay has a tendency to absorb and breathe more. Okay, concrete, as you can understand, cannot get in and out anything. So you keep it like that. But concrete, you have a little bit more freshness. Clay, a little bit less. Alors, the tradition is 13 grapes,
Yeah,
but
like
can you imagine 13 grapes? You need to separately do a vinification. They have to be separate, all of them. And after they test and they do the blend. But to get the blend, each individual one has to have different barrique, different test, and after is a lot. I'm not saying that is not doable because few of them doing it, but the cost is, yeah.
So the good ones must be very expensive.
Correct. So basically, same area, exactly the same type of vine, same age on the vine, same size, but that is not really important. But both of them are on the north. So the same climate, same type of soil. Look the difference. Why I'm showing that? I want to show you the difference with the vintage. One is a 22 vintage, exceptional vintage, and the other one is 19, exceptional vintage. 2 exceptional and 21 under. Okay? So even so it could be exceptional, sometimes the wine could be or not ready. But you having here 2 exceptional vintage, 2 different years. Alors let's go to start with the 22 first. 22 is where? Top left. You see lighter color? But when you do like that, look the legs. Oh my God. That is a beautiful legs. Oh my God, look at that.
Legs of a French woman?
Maybe not, I don't know. He has been a while. But look at that, superb. And he stay. He doesn't move. That is why I'm saying he's an exceptional vintage. 21 was going down very, not fast, but faster than here. Here, he doesn't move. We are in an exceptional vintage. He's there as an aroma, but much less intensity than the 21. Okay? And he's an exceptional vintage. What does he mean? He's still closed. He didn't open yet. He's going to, and when he's going to open, trust me, he's going to be above the 21. But so far, he's still, we say that the crise d'adolescence. Is it going to be in the next half an hour at the same level than 21? Absolutely not, because he's missing few years. Okay, it's so much concentration that the wine little bit shy on the nose. But let's go to test it. Best is education, coming to the wine tasting and learn about it. But on the test, the 2022 is more interesting than your 2021. The mouth is very complex on the 22 already, is already there. Is for me one level up than the 21 on the test. That is normal because it's a much higher quality, but it's not there yet. So when you see on a palette, you get to this level, you can just imagine how it's going to be on the nose. Any question on the 2022?
Not very.
What were the grapes that make this one?
Grenache, Syrah, Mourvèdre, 1, 2, and 3. Super traditional. I'm getting close to the 10, 12 seconds. Compared to the 21, it was 6 to 8 max. Here, 10 to 12, much longer aroma keep in my mouth. There is not too much down because with the technology now, they forecast weeks before if it's going to be an heavy rain, especially at the end, just before harvest. That is a crucial time, okay? Because you do have basically 8 months before, rain or rain, there is nothing that you can control because the grapes are here. But at the end, you don't want to have too much rain. And if they forecast rain 2 days before your harvest, maybe you harvest before to not get the grain. You do have a dust called pruine, P-R-U-I-N-E. The pruine absorbs any kind of aroma coming to the grape and transfer that to the skin, and the skin transfer to the juice. That is where you get your aroma. Let's go to say we are here and we are, that is our vineyard, and all the back is roses, land of roses. If we make our one here, it's going to smell only roses. Lavender, any kind of area around you, the grape is going to absorb it. Some vineyard near ocean, with the wind coming from the ocean to the vineyard, is going to transfer saltiness to the grapes. And when you're going to drink the wine, you're going to say, oh my God, the wine is salty. They put salt inside? Of course not. All right, let's go slowly. So we focus on the 2022, correct? Let's go to the now, the 19.
Much better this one. Yeah. Don't forget to breathe. Ooh la la.
Much better.
Keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going. Do you understand how I did select your testing today? 21, 22, finish with a 19. How the impact of the vintage is extremely important. Not everywhere in the world, no. Some specific area, such as tonight, Châteauneuf-du-Pape. Champagne has to be the same every single year. Because if you are a Cristal Roederer, a Dom Pérignon, a Bollinger, a Grand Dame drinker, is because you like the style. The style cannot change. And it has to be the same times, the same year, exactly the same. An example, 22, 21 and 19, and they want to discover what is the difference between the north, east, west, south part, why this area tastes like that, and why this area has a different aroma, on and on.
And what the weather was like that year.
Vintage are super important. Lot of sun, less sun, rain, no rain. That is what wine is about, is changing. Why? Because the wine is linked with one specific aspect in a world is what? Weather. You don't want to have the same weather every single year to have exactly the same taste of the wine.
So
and how do
tastings are important then?
the tasting are important. Searching what is a good vintage, not a good vintage, what the winery is doing or not doing. That is what is the beauty about the wine. Is always searching for more and more and more and more. Alors me, I'm more, at this time, I love a specific winery. It's called Guigas. because all their wine is a minimum of 100 years old vine. So you get to the velvety that if it's a blind tasting, you can think that is not Châteauneuf-du-Pape, that is Burgundy, because it's so velvet. But at the same time, you say it cannot be Burgundy because there is a lot of intensity into it. At this time, I'm testing some 2010, 2005, 200, 250 a bottle. But 250 a bottle or $200 a bottle, it sounds expensive. It is expensive, but when you get to 100 years old vine, don't forget, the production is like that, small and tiny, nothing. Why? Because you're getting only and only the quality. Next week, we are doing wine from Ca del Bosco. Most of you know the guy who did Amarone. Okay, he's coming back next week. And we do Ca del Bosco. So Ca del Bosco is on Lombardy. And Lombardy is there. And his winery, Ca del Bosco, is in the south part of Lombardy. They're doing, I will say, the best sparkling wine in all Italy. But they're doing as well red wine. And some of them are in Piemonte with some Barolo. Very specific type of Barolo. So it's coming next week. If you are free, please, we're going to have a lot of good wine next week. That and Alexandro, you know, is extremely generous guy. So he's always bring more wine, a lot of food, very Italian style. So I will recommend to come next week. Alexandro come twice a year. We did that 3 weeks ago with Amarone. It was a blast. You were there. It was a lot of wine because he talked for 2 hours, full of food everywhere. So please, next week, Ca del Bosco with Alexandro. I will be here to help him as well, but he doesn't need help. The wine will speak for themselves. And if there is wine tonight that you are interested, they are basically all here. Feel free to take whatever you have. You have $100 credit. You can buy as well something else, yes. But for me to be able to open some unique bottle of wine, we need support with all these wines that we do have during the night. All right. So we do have a traditional dish that, in fact, I'm doing not this Sunday but following Sunday. It's called daube provençal. It's like a bœuf bourguignon from the south part. So you take your beef, lot of spice, the meat macerated about 24 to 48 hours in a spicy red wine. Or most of the time you use red wine, not Châteauneuf-du-Pape, Côtes-du-Rhône, the less expensive wine, and carrot, celery, tomatoes, and is a stew, and he infused for basically 18 hours to reduce your sauce and the meat absorb all the red wine. That is a type of food that you do have. Chicken will be perfect. Salmon, grilled salmon with a lime on the top will be amazing. Mushrooms risotto will be perfect with the Châteauneuf-du-Pape. And I keep going until midnight with different dishes. Or a nice piece of meat, a tomahawk. You put that on a grill, a little bit of oil on the top, full of herbs, and grill up back, and you slice salt on the top, and you just eat with that. Or a nice omelette. Mushrooms omelette with... All right, guys, thank you very much. Thank you. Always a pleasure to have you. Take as much as you can.
I've been to so many of Oliver's classes, and they're some of the best value for what you get out of it. And he's so funny and so smart about wine.
So once again, I had a fantastic wine tasting hosted by Olivier, and he put together a fantastic selection of wines, great explanations, the history, and great cheer, good people around the table. Does a fine job with the charcuterie. Yes, so I recommend it highly. I come to a lot of these, and I always have a good time.
Olivier is simply amazing, so knowledgeable. It's a pleasure to be in his wine tasting. Whoever hasn't been here, wake up, come, learn. Amazing.
Hi, I'm Aubrey, and I have been coming to the Westchester Wine Warehouse for a very long time. I've gotten to know everyone here. I have fallen in love with the way that Olivier teaches his classes. I have fallen in love with my indigenous native grape aisle. And actually, Olivier and Ken are in my dedication in my forthcoming book.
Which one is it, Chardonnay?